Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Better Than a Podcast. We're at the podcast, but I guess just better. You figure it out. Today we got a couple things on the menu to get you nice and relaxed for the upcoming weekend. I'm talking how much moolah, bling bling, did the Lightspeed bundles affect Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Woo! Somebody bought a brand new yacht. I can promise you that, I think. We're going to talk about some of the reactions to the brand new raid. For our background gameplay, I'm going to spare you of Conquest, and instead, we're going to showcase the most deadly team in Galaxy of Heroes, which I may or may have not flopped in Grand Arena the other day. Oh my god. Yeah, basically just full auto all these teams up here. This team is absolutely deadly, and it's such a finicky team to get up and running with the guard, getting the guard on Drogon. You got to make sure you get the R2 health stats through the roof, remove any health on Drogon. It's so finicky, but at the end of the day, you can just absolutely just decimate folks. So we're going to just let that sit on auto while we talk about a little bit of a podcast session here for Star Wars Galaxy here. So the thing I want to talk about here, number one, is Lightspeed bundles, how that's affect Galaxy of Heroes, and how much money did it look like it brought to Galaxy of Heroes for the past month. Well, we kind of see the whole thing unfold as I kind of predicted. I felt like there was something that come to make more sense of the Lightspeed bundles. Selling a whole entire faction basically for $10 for high relics is an insane value. And as we're going to see, the numbers reflect people were quite into this. It even brought some of my family members back in the Galaxy of Heroes. I'll share a little tidbit about that as well. And so we're seeing with this new Ultimate Journey event that was unleashed this week, we can kind of see that's what the Lightspeed bundles are for. And yes, just to remind people, there are more to come. I keep getting this question. When are the next Lightspeed bundles coming? We don't know when, but we know there are more to come. I made a video talking about it. People are already itching for that next hit of Lightspeed bundles. We don't know the specifics of it, but I assume, seeing that we have this Ultimate Journey and they want people to get as many Galactic Legends as possible, I wouldn't be surprised to see it soon. Who knows? Some people are speculating maybe it'll come around the time of the Ultimate Journey coming next week. People are going to want to get that next Galactic Legend. Again, no confirmation as to when those Lightspeed bundles are coming. But let's talk about the moolah. How much money did it make for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? Now, you're not going to find the exact number like you can pinpoint. This is how much of the revenue was generated by Lightspeed bundles, so we got to do a little correlation, causation type of thing here. But Galaxy of Heroes definitely saw some pretty big highs as a result of this. A while ago when we were looking at some data, this was roughly right before the Lightspeed bundles came out, we showcased that the game, again, Galaxy of Heroes financially is doing well. It's one of the more successful mobile games on the market in terms of revenue, and of course, it's the financially most successful Star Wars game of all time, making more money than Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. Yeah, pretty nuts. But when we go back to that video that I talked about, back then, this was, I believe, in September, when we put this out, early September, the August reportings were showing 4 million on the iOS side of things, 3 million for the Google Play side of things, so 7 million. Definitely nothing to scoff at. Definitely solid amounts of income they're pulling in. October, if you guys remember when we were looking at the initial impact of the revenue of the Lightspeed bundles, we saw Galaxy Heroes fly to the top of the charts for grossing games. And we're starting to see what that overall number was starting to look like. Now that the Lightspeed bundles have kind of died down, they've gone away, we're seeing the numbers kind of go back and stabilize to where Galaxy Heroes normally is going to be. So I suspect November is probably going to come back to its normalcy unless they bring back those Lightspeed bundles. When we come to Galaxy of Heroes for last month, we see that on the iOS side of things in EA's portfolio, this is their second biggest revenue driving game that they put out. In iOS side of things, they made $6 million in October, and on the Google Play side of things, it was EA on the Google Play side of things in EA's portfolio. It was the #1 revenue generating game with $5 million on the Android side of the field. So when you take $5 million plus 6 million, you're looking at $11 million generated. Now, Galaxers, generally it's hovering around, 7, 6, 8 million, something of that sort. So can't quite say the numbers double, but going from 7 million in September and all of a sudden you're over 11 million, that's quite a big, substantial jump. And I think we can assume, since that was really the only big thing last month, except maybe like Paz Vizsla, there really wasn't anything else that people would wail on for that drastic where the numbers would almost double. We can see that, wow, when you make reasonable offers, you'll get a lot more money as a result. So I can assure you, Capital Games saw the impact immediately. They didn't need to wait a month. And that's why we're starting to see those data mines that are showing there are more Lightspeed bundles coming around the corner. Again, when? Hard to say. And I don't know. I know we've broken down, the pros and cons of it. Obviously, the cons, it kind of makes people who farmed the hard way many months and years, or maybe they paid a lot more money, they feel kind of, trivialized. That they're like, oh man, this person got it for $10. As you may recall, we made a video. The $10, $20, however many Lightspeed bundles you bought, unless you got the Star Killer bundle, you still were a long way from getting a Galactic Legend immediately. As I showcased in the video, if you didn't see a card in the top right-hand corner, it's actually kind of a scary video in terms of how expensive this game can really get at the end of the day. So it still looked like it was going to be easily another $1,000, $2,000. If you just had nothing, you got the Lightspeed bundles, you moved on, it's a lot of moolah. So I think overall it's a good thing for the game. Just again, getting people interested, getting people involved, people that drop the game to come back to speed things up, because this game is not a real normal game at the end of the day. It's really just a resource grinding type of game, and there's like a little bit of chess, if you will, in regards to the gameplay. As you can see, I'm really exercising my mental strength in these battles right now with Leia. I want to give a little tidbit in regards to this. I have a lot of Star Wars fans in my family. My next brother-in-law, massive Star Wars fan, loves the Clone Wars and all that fun jazz. He tried playing Galaxers way back when, but it didn't appeal to me, because when you want to try to get somewhere, it would take months, and most games don't work like that. So he wasn't interested, but he came back because of the Lightspeed bundles. He got. I believe he only bought the Kylo Ren bundle, or the BB-8 bundle, to try to get him up and running a little bit. And so he got interested to come back to the game. So that's just a little tidbit on my side, that some Star Wars fans in my family and friends, they're coming back because of this. And we could probably see this with other people out there who are interested to come back to try to expedite some of the process to get to more of the later type of game content out there. Fun fact, I said this on stream the other day. I told my brother, because I know he loves the Clone Wars. He has a ton of clones, separatist droids, the vehicles from the Clone Wars. I told him, and he's a massive clone fan, like, dude, just farm your clones, get your Captain Rex. He loves Captain Rex. Get the Bad Batch up and running. And I told him, you're not going to believe me, I told him, get the Padme, C-3PO, work towards General Skywalker. And because he wants to take Bad Batch as far as possible, I'm like, bro, just go ahead and get Lord Vader. I know, right? Me saying that, at the end of the day, I try to help people enjoy the game in ways that I know they're going to enjoy the game. Not everyone wants to be a meta sweat lord. Some people just want to farm things that they enjoyed in Star Wars. I know, it's a crazy concept. So I'm wishing him the best on his journey. I try to give him little tips and tricks along the way. So I just thought it'd be funny. I don't recommend Lord Vader for a first Galactic Legend for a lot of people. But again, play the game in a way you know you're going to enjoy it at the very end of the day. All right, enough about Lightspeed bundles. Yes, for all those looking for that next hit, they're inevitably gonna bring more onto the table. I think they're starting to learn you don't need to charge a bajillion dollars to make money. If you make something reasonable, a lot more people spend money. We'll see what the next ones are. Obviously, my theory is the next Lightspeed bundles are probably going to be Jedi Master Luke, Sith Eternal, Focus. I would be surprised if they release the Lightspeed bundle for Jabba, Kenobi, Lord Vader. We'll wait and see, but I think Sith Eternal, Jedi Master Luke wouldn't be too far-fetched if they start going that direction. Or it could be something more minor, maybe a General Skywalker Lightspeed bundle. Have to wait and see. Moving on to the next point of conversation, let's talk about the raid. And I'm not talking about Raid Shadow Legends, I'm talking about the new Speeder Bike Pursuit. Yesterday, we got a lot of deets in regards to the new Speeder Bike Pursuit raid. And I feel like the room temperature in Galaxers is kind of lukewarm. We're keeping an open mind. We're going to give it a chance. I really want to emphasize for Capital Games, reading the feedback that people were leaving in my comments, the feedback I was giving. The mod part, Capital Games seems to love it, and I can kind of understand why. I don't think most people like constantly remodding to do this new raid. The crate dragger is already tough to get people to constantly remod over and over and over again. The good news is this raid's only going to be a one-time-a-week thing, so not as bad. So I guess that's the upside to all this. If you have less attempts, all right, you don't got to remod nearly as much. So again, trying to find the bright side of things. I hope they somehow make mod management easier, saving loadouts a lot easier, being able to get out there and maybe lift the cap on how many mods we could possibly have inside our roster. So I think there's a lot of ways to make this a bit better. I don't really understand why we don't have a bigger mod cap. I get, well, then you just reached the new mod cap. I mean, come on. The mod cap we have was made for a game for 2016, whenever mods first came out. So I think we're definitely overdue for some sort of mod management type of thing to make the modding a little bit easier. That seems to be the biggest criticism I'm seeing flying around out there. But it was brought to my attention that, if you guys know, Capital Games, they have another game called Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle-earth. I'll bring up their numbers in a second. It's not doing hot. It's not doing great. I looked at it after a couple months. I don't know how the game still works as bad as it does, but we're not going to talk too much about that aspect. Or maybe I will. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But in Heroes of Middle-earth, they released a raid called the Mines of Moria. And that's where they, I guess, first implemented this point-based system. So in case you missed the video yesterday, the long story short of it is that the characters you farm aren't going to do what they're supposed to do, and you need to farm very specific stats to get certain things that are going to happen inside the raid. It's a little complicated, but it's going to be a point system where when you defeat enemies, you gain points. There's not going to be a single boss, which I don't know how I feel about that. I like fighting a big boss at the end of the day, but that's just me. And they kind of had this breakdown where in Mines of Moria, you get 5 points for every percentage of health lost by an enemy orc. You get 500 points for every defeated enemy orc. Whenever 2 or more enemy orcs are defeated in a single turn, you get 2,500 points. And then you get 2,500 points for every enemy orc defeated by an enemy Moria bomber. So that's how they did it in their raid. I don't really know the full picture. Some people say they're not too crazy about the raid. Again, I don't really play the game. I can't really give my own opinion on it. But it looks like they're probably taking some aspects of that raid and bringing it over here. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. For me, I love the aspect. My gosh, isn't that dirty? That is so dirty. Reviving your entire team. God dang, that is such a dirty ultimate ability. I'm going to wait and see. I'm keeping an open mind. I'm not enthusiastic about the remodding, the not being able to use my characters that the purpose I geared up Jedi Luke is I want to use his abilities. I don't want to have to gear up Tebow because who knows, Tebow might be the best character in this raid, and I'm assuming that is definitely something they're trying to target. They want people upgrading stupid stuff to do this raid, upgrading stupid mods like the accuracy to get in there and get some work done. I want to say one more thing about the raid before I even play. It could be a lot of fun. It could very well be a lot of fun. I'm not shutting it down right away. Of course, I have early concerns about it all. The one thing I am not too keen on is the fact that maybe it's me. I kind of miss when there was like an exclusive character tied to a raid. That was like one of the biggest exciting things about a raid. Yeah, cool, you're going to fight these cool bosses, you know, the AAT tank or Grievous or the Sith Triumvirate, the Rancor raid. But at the end of the day, it was really exciting to chase after an exclusive character. And we didn't get anything for the Krayt Dragon raid. You know, we were thought, all right, maybe, you know, we might get Cobb Vanth. That never happened. All right. Then we got Endor raid, and I don't know what they could have possibly added. I mean, I don't know, like maybe an exclusive skin or something like that. I just remember back when the Rancor came out or the AAT raid came out, it was a big deal when the first players or the first guild were unlocking Han Solo, unlocking General Kenobi. It was the most exciting part about the raid. I feel like they kind of moved beyond that, and I feel like it's an actual noticeable downgrade from previous things. Now, of course, yes, the move with the Mark III rewards, the gear is important, but I want a character back. I want to be excited for chasing after an exclusive character, pushing towards the raid. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people don't like characters gated behind a raid. That's just my 2 cents. I miss that. It's one of my favorite things. I want to end off on one more little note here. In regards to I guess it's kind of related to my Lord Vader conversation with my brother, and I guess we just dunked on Lord Vader multiple times here. I want to show this from Ashlyn Hunter 92. This is interesting in regards to skins. I think I just said skins. Maybe they can release like a Luke skin, so he has like the Endor cloak on. But there's I don't know where he got this from. I'm not sure if this is from a data mine or if this is something that maybe he just made and envisioned, or maybe he just pulled the asset. I think this is the asset maybe from the Lord Vader Kenobi event when they face off on Mustafar. I think this looks a little bit cooler than Cloak Lord Vader. I feel like they made Lord Vader one of the most boring galactic legends to look at. His ultimate's just like, yeah. I think having alternate costumes would be fine. This isn't like a whole brand new character Lord Vader. It's just Lord Vader without the cloak on. You know, and I saw the conversation. It kind of gets interesting. When does something become a new character, and when is something okay just for a reskin? You know what I'm saying? Because why would Siege release a skin when they could just make a brand new Luke Skywalker? Why release a skin with X-Wing Luke Skywalker when they could just make an X-Wing Luke Skywalker at the end of the day? So I like this. I would love alternate, just even slight alternate costumes. You know, maybe helmet on, helmet off, just finer things like that. We know Marvel Strike Force, they have alternate costumes that they have. I think they have like gold characters and stuff like that. I'm not asking to go that far, but you know, minor little things at best. Anyways, I thought this was cool this year. Nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed me dunking with Galactic Legend Leia. It's a very difficult team. People are starting to understand that this is a huge deal of a team. It's annihilating basically everything on full auto, and it's very difficult to beat on defense. I had to force myself to get more practice in as a punishment to myself for making one misplay against Leia. Oh, gosh forbid, and no more misplays. We got to move forward. We got to knock that team out, just like I hope you guys are going to knock it out this weekend. Leave that like, comment down below, subscribe so you're not missing a thing. And always remember, my brother from another imperial mother, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.